Right now, the world is watching one of the most dangerous geopolitical escalations in modern history. What began as rising tensions between the United States and Iran has exploded into a regional conflict that is rapidly spiraling beyond anyone's control. Missiles are flying. Oil infrastructure is burning. Major powers are taking sides. And the global economy is starting to shake. At the center of this crisis is U.S. President Donald Trump, whose aggressive military campaign against Iran has triggered a chain reaction stretching from the Middle East to Europe, Russia, and even Asia. What we are witnessing may not just be another regional war. It could be the beginning of a global geopolitical realignment. The Middle East ignites. The conflict escalated rapidly after U.S. and Israeli strikes hit key Iranian targets across the country. Explosions have rocked major cities, including Tehran, where oil facilities, military sites, and industrial infrastructure have been targeted. The destruction has been immense.
Because what conditions would Iran accept to bring this war to an end?
Well, actually, we are not at that point yet. Obviously, this time is different from the previous time. Last time we accepted the ceasefire, but this time is quite different, and the reason is obvious. Last time they attacked us, they made aggression against us, they killed our people, they destroyed our places, and then asked for a ceasefire, and we accepted out of good faith because we were only exercising the act of self-defense. And when the aggression was stopped, we stopped too. But, it didn't bring about peace. And now this year, they again started to attack us. And again, they are killing our people. They are killing, girl students. They are attacking hospitals, freshwater desalinations, refineries. Everywhere, people have been killed, places have been destroyed, and now they want to ask for a ceasefire again. Well, this doesn't work like this. So,
footage from inside Iran shows massive fires engulfing fuel depots, thick black smoke rising above city skylines, and entire industrial complexes reduced to rubble. Some reports describe oil pipelines rupturing and leaking into sewage systems, fueling underground fires that spread beneath streets and neighborhoods. Residents say the scenes resemble something out of an apocalypse. Flames lighting the night sky, emergency sirens echoing through the streets, and terrified civilians fleeing as explosions shake their cities. But the strikes have not stopped Iran from fighting back. Iran's retaliation. Despite the heavy bombardment, Iran has launched a wave of retaliatory strikes across the region.
There should be a permanent end of the war. And unless we get to that, I think we need to, continue fighting for the sake of our people and our security.
Missiles and drones have targeted government facilities in Kuwait and several U.S. military bases stationed throughout the Middle East.
Americans who died in the defense of our country. Now, to our Arab friends, you're being hit too. Has any Arab country struck Iran? Now, if you want a treaty with the United States, you need to get in this fight. Now, America's not going to the Mideast just to fight alone. So I'm urging our Arab allies to fight back. You're being hit too. So
Iranian leadership has vowed that the attacks will continue until the United States ends its campaign. And the conflict is no longer limited to just two countries. The entire region is now on edge. Oil markets collapse into panic. One of the first global consequences of the war has been chaos in the energy sector. Major oil producers, including Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Iraq, Qatar, and Kuwait have begun shutting down parts of their oil production.
Before we move on, we want to acknowledge a mistake made earlier on our program. During our coverage of yesterday's dignified transfer, we inadvertently aired video from an older dignified transfer instead of the ceremony that took place yesterday. We deeply regret the error and extend our respect and condolences to the service members' families. We honor the sacrifice of those 6 American heroes. They are Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Nicola Moore, Sergeant First Class Noah Tietjens, Sergeant Declan Cody, Major Jeffrey O'Brien, and Chief Warrant Officer 3, Robert Marzon. All American heroes. We'll be right back.
Some have halted operations completely in certain regions. Their concern is simple: security. Missile strikes and drone attacks have made oil infrastructure a major target. At the same time, one of the most critical shipping routes in the world, the Strait of Hormuz, is effectively closed. This narrow waterway normally carries nearly 1/5 of the world's oil supply. Now tankers are avoiding the route entirely. The result is global market panic. Oil prices are surging. Economists warn gasoline prices in the United States could climb toward $5 per gallon or higher, triggering inflation shocks across the world economy. Trump declares victory.
I mean, when you look at the loss of life here, some of these folks that lost their life fighting and defending our country, very young. Iowa took a big hit here. And there's no way that you can talk about this without extreme sorrow and heart.
Despite the escalating violence, President Donald Trump has claimed the war is already won. In several public statements and social media posts, Trump declared that Iran had effectively surrendered. According to Trump, Iranian leaders had supposedly thanked him and conceded defeat. He even claimed this was the first time in 1,000 years that anyone had forced Iran to surrender. But analysts and intelligence officials say there is no evidence whatsoever that Iran has surrendered. In fact, the opposite appears to be true. Iranian forces continue launching missiles. Regional militias aligned with Iran remain active. And anti-American protests are spreading across parts of the Middle East.
Move to the strike on the elementary school in southern Iran. It killed more than 170 people, including many children. President Trump said Iran is responsible for that strike. What is your response to what the president said?
Well, it is funny. It is our school. These are our students, our girls, and they are attacked by an American fighter, a jet fighter, and they have been killed. Why Iran is responsible? Have we started this war? Have we attacked our own people? No, we were negotiating with the United States. And in the middle of negotiations, in the middle of diplomacy, they decided to attack us. And they have attacked so many places, including schools and hospitals. And there are all evidences that this school is attacked by an American, jet fighter.
Where is the Iranian evidence that this was a U.S. attack, a jet fighter, as you say? Will you provide
If it was not U.S., then who was that? Maybe Israelis. But it is obvious who else is attacking us.
Well,
anti-American sentiment rising. In Iraq, anger toward the United States has surged dramatically. Inside Iraq's parliament, lawmakers have reportedly chanted slogans condemning American military actions. Demonstrations have also erupted in multiple cities. For many in the region, the war is being viewed not simply as a conflict with Iran, but as another chapter in decades of Western military intervention in the Middle East. This rising anger could make the situation far more dangerous for U.S. forces stationed across the region. Allies left in the dark. While the war intensifies, relations between the United States and its traditional allies are becoming increasingly strained. Trump recently criticized the United Kingdom after reports that Britain was considering deploying aircraft carriers to the Middle East. The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer had been evaluating options to stabilize the region and support allied operations. Trump's response shocked many observers. He publicly dismissed the idea, saying British assistance would be too late and unnecessary. In interviews, Trump even said he did not care whether U.S. allies helped or not. For decades, the United States built its global influence through alliances like NATO. But critics now warn those alliances are weakening under the strain of the current crisis. Europe tries to prevent disaster. With Washington's relationships under stress, European leaders have begun stepping in. French President Emmanuel Macron has launched diplomatic efforts across the Middle East. Macron recently met with Kurdish and Iraqi leaders, attempting to prevent the conflict from spreading further across the region. France has emphasized the need to protect regional stability and respect national sovereignty. Macron also reassured partners that France remains committed to supporting its allies during the crisis. For many observers, it is an unusual shift in global leadership. Historically, the United States led diplomatic efforts during major international crises. Now, Europe is increasingly taking that role. Meanwhile, Ukraine burns. While the world's attention focuses on Iran, another war continues raging in Europe. Russia has launched devastating attacks on Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reported that Russia fired 29 missiles and nearly 480 drones in a single wave of attacks. Many of those drones were Shahed drones, originally developed in Iran. This highlights the complex web connecting these conflicts. Iran provides drones to Russia. Russia now reportedly shares intelligence with Iran, and the United States is fighting Iran directly. What began as separate conflicts is increasingly becoming a global network of interconnected wars. Russia's strategic advantage. Russian President Vladimir Putin may be one of the biggest beneficiaries of the current chaos. Global attention has shifted away from Ukraine. Oil prices are soaring, benefiting Russian energy exports. And sanctions on Russian oil have been loosened in recent months, allowing Moscow to generate enormous revenue. That money can be used to fund Russia's military operations. Meanwhile, intelligence reports suggest Russia may be helping Iran with targeting information against U.S. positions in the Middle East. When reporters asked Trump about these allegations, he dismissed them. He said he had no indication that Russia was helping Iran. China watches carefully. Another major power involved in the background is China. China has long maintained economic and strategic relationships with Iran. Analysts believe Beijing may be quietly providing economic assistance to help Iran withstand the pressure of the conflict. However, Washington has been cautious about confronting China directly during this crisis. Some experts believe Trump is reluctant to escalate tensions with Beijing as diplomatic talks continue. The Kurdish question. Another complication involves Kurdish groups in the region. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has warned the United States not to involve Kurdish fighters in the conflict with Iran. The Kurds themselves are deeply skeptical. Many Kurdish leaders say the United States has repeatedly relied on Kurdish forces during wars in the Middle East, only to abandon them once the fighting ends. For now, Kurdish groups appear unwilling to join another conflict.
And we're going to win. Israel and the United States, you just wait to see what comes in the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks meaning what?
We're going to blow the hell out of these people. This regime is in a death row now. It is going to be on its knees. It's going to fall. And when it falls, we're going to have peace like no other time. We're going to have prosperity unlike anyone could ever imagine. Peace brings prosperity. You can't do it by talking. The Democrats criticize this operation. They didn't do a damn thing. These men and women in the military should make us all proud. I'm not looking for a fair fight. If we get in a fight, I want to win it. I want to win it quick. I'm in Miami. You see this hat? Free Cuba. Stay tuned. The liberation of Cuba is upon us. It's just a matter of time now. You see this hat? Make Iran great. President Trump said the only way to make Iran great is for the people to take over. We're marching through the world. We're cleaning out the bad guys. We're going to have relationships with new people that will make us prosperous and safe. I've never seen anybody like it. This is Ronald Reagan plus. Donald Trump is resetting the world in a way nobody could have dreamed of a year ago. He is the greatest commander-in-chief of all time. Our military is the best of all time. Iran is going down, and Cuba is next.
The collapse of the international order, perhaps the most alarming concern among world leaders, is the possibility that the global rules-based order is breaking down. For decades, international institutions and alliances helped manage conflicts and prevent escalation. But today, many leaders fear those systems are weakening. According to Zelensky, authoritarian regimes may now believe that global rules no longer matter. If major powers act without consequences, then the world could shift toward a new era defined purely by power. A world where the strongest nations impose their will, a world governed not by law but by force. The stakes for humanity, the consequences of this crisis could be enormous. Oil markets are already unstable. Global inflation could rise dramatically. Regional conflicts could merge into a wider war. And the involvement of multiple nuclear powers raises fears about how far this confrontation could escalate. Right now, diplomats across the world are scrambling to prevent further escalation. But the situation remains extremely volatile. Missiles continue to fall. Cities continue to burn. And the future of global stability hangs in the balance. Final thoughts. History may one day look back at this moment as a turning point. The decisions made during this crisis could reshape alliances, redraw geopolitical boundaries, and redefine global power. Whether the world moves toward diplomacy or deeper conflict remains uncertain. But one fact is undeniable. The war between the United States and Iran has already triggered a chain reaction that is changing the course of international politics. And the world is watching to see what happens next.